Milo Hamilton says he believes it's conceivable that U.S. rice farmers could have prices between $14 and $16 per hundredweight over the next 6 months. That would enable those who remain in rice to make a little money. Hamilton explained his reasoning near the end of his rice marketing educational seminar presentation for the virtual Mid-South Farm and Gin show.
What does that mean for the next 6 months? I believe we're going to see a dead cat bounce in the price. By that, I mean it could go much higher. It did the same thing in 2009. I was on top of that one back then. I've been in this market for 40 years. And in that dead cat bounce coming off of very high prices, it went up to $16, which is a 38% Fibonacci retracement of the down move. If we do an up move relative to the 23.57 we got last June, that would be a rally to about $16. I think it's conceivable that the Western Hemisphere could have prices between $14 and $16 over the next 6 months, which would allow those that remain in rice to make a little money. So let me wrap it up. I'm sticking my neck on the line, but that's what I do for a living. People pay me to stick my neck out. And I guess I've been more right than not, so they keep letting me do that for them. Bottom line is, I think you're going to have a stronger price ahead in 2021. We may not have a primary bull market, but we could see moments of hedgeability and price. I'm looking at people wanting to watch that 1350 on new crop to see if it can go above that level. Asian rice competes with America's rice, but only outside the Americas, not in the Americas. So if we have a short crop and we're at 16 to 17 and they're back to 10 or 11, we could sustain those high prices in the Americas, particularly on the Gulf Coast, particularly if the dollar gets weaker from here. The Americas price is firmer this year on less U.S. acreage in 2021 is what I'm forecasting, and tighter rice stocks in Latin America. I don't mean to keep hammering on the same thing, but we always think the price is going to go down, and that's not necessarily the case. Question I have in terms of climate and so forth is whether Asia will have a 16th year of favorable rice weather in Asia. That's a long time to have a really good outturn. We're probably going to continue to see a La Nina, but I really can't forecast the climate. I leave that to people more knowledgeable than myself. Right now, the US dollar is heading down. It may have made a low, which is something that the economists at the co-bank suggest may be happening, and I'm not going to say it won't happen. But if the dollar continues to head down and beans continue to head higher, we're going to see more and more rice acreage go over to beans in the next 2 months, irrespective of the planting weather. China is now a net importer. I think it could be the beginning of a good year for rice, with China being a lead person to watch in here, because when the corn started to change, no one believed it, and then they started to believe that the feed. Basically, if you look at China, they grow a lot of rice and they store it in these peasant farms and have for decades, and then when they have bad weather, they use the rice they've stored up, and they hold 2 or 3 years worth of rice out in the countryside. For many decades, the trains were not available to relieve hunger because they were full of coal, and the coal was running the railroads. I don't know how it is now, but there's that tendency to grow more rice than they need in a particular year.